Perched on the verdant rolling slopes of Aamby Valley City, India, the Nirvana House is a sprawling 10,000 square foot residential project that redefines the concept of home as a meditative sanctuary. Designed by the architecture firm unTAG under the lead of architects Tejesh Patil and Gauri Sadam, and completed in 2026, the residence is designed to transform the traditional concept of shelter into a deeply spiritual, meditative inhabitance. A defining feature of this project is its intense connection to materiality, particularly through the layering of raw Indian stone, exposed concrete, warm brickwork, and rich timber finishes. These elements work in harmony to blur physical boundaries, seamlessly merging the built environment with the surrounding natural landscape. Beautifully captured through the lenses of photographer Pranit Bora and curated by Miwa Nigoro, the home incorporates top-tier fixtures and systems from Kohler and Daikin to balance modern comforts with a raw, tactile aesthetic. The journey begins with the site itself, nestled within the undulating topography of Aamby Valley. A look at the initial site planning reveals how the architectural footprint is carefully positioned along the contours of the hill, overlooking a nearby body of water. This precise orientation is the foundation of the home's design intent, setting the stage for a structure that doesn't dominate the landscape, but rather rests gently upon it. The plan shows a deliberate effort to minimize excavation and maintain the natural flow of the land. Zooming in on the detailed site layout, the choreography of movement across the property becomes clear. Visitors enter from a winding driveway, passing a playground area before arriving at a designated drop-off point and the main house. The layout reveals how different functional zones, including the parking, main pavilion, and the swimming pool, are arranged to create a sense of discovery. Each space is positioned to offer privacy while maintaining a clear connection to the central courtyard and the landscape beyond. Stepping out onto the grassy slopes, the architectural drawing comes to life as a striking volumetric sculpture. Layered blocks of raw concrete, textured beige stone, and dark gray slate rise from a stone plinth, creating a rich tapestry of natural materials that feels grounded in the hillside. A cantilevered concrete pavilion dominates the structure, its overhanging roof punctuated by two large circular cutouts that frame the sky and allow sunlight to wash over the levels below. Glass railings outline the balconies and terraces, keeping the visual connection to the surrounding valley completely open and unobstructed. From a direct front-on angle, the volumetric composition reveals its careful balance of mass and void. On the left, a dark gray stone wing projects outwards, supporting a towering volume clad in warm, sandy beige stone. To the right, the main living pavilion is sheltered by a thin, dramatic concrete slab that seems to float effortlessly over the landscape. Underneath this floating canopy, the ground floor living areas remain fully open to the garden, inviting the breeze inside. The single circular skylight in the roof overhang acts as a light well, casting a moving circle of sunlight onto the terrace below as the day progresses. Approaching the entrance, the raw materiality of the home transitions into exquisite, detailed craftsmanship. A large, rotating timber pivot door stands as a textured geometric statement, inviting visitors to step inside. The grain of the wood brings a warm, organic contrast to the solid slate walls flanking the entry. Immediately to the left of the door, a floor-to-ceiling glass wall frames a view of a curved pocket courtyard. Here, a stone path twists through a bed of lush, green foliage and tropical plants, enclosed by a curved gray stone wall with thin slot windows. Overhead, a circular cutout in the concrete ceiling fills the entryway with soft, natural light. Stepping past the threshold, the entrance pathway sweeps forward as a curved corridor clad in narrow, horizontally stacked slate tiles. The texture of the stone is highlighted by a custom brass-accented glass light fixture that casts a dramatic cone of light along the curved wall. Overhead, the raw concrete ceiling is punctuated by successive circular skylights, filtering a gentle wash of daylight onto the polished stone floor. A simple timber-framed glass door at the end of the passage leads the eye toward the main living spaces, hinting at the expansive views that lie ahead. Outside, the curved corridor wall acts as a striking backdrop to the lush, landscaped courtyard. A figure walking along the winding stone path illustrates the human scale of the architecture, surrounded by dense plantings of monstera, small palms, and vibrant green ground cover. The gray stone of the wall curves gently with the land, echoing the organic shape of the hill. A simple rain chain hangs vertically, showing a thoughtful integration of water drainage with the natural elements of the garden. This connection between interior and exterior is a constant theme throughout the home. Standing at the threshold of the living room, the space splits. To the left is the tranquility of the inner courtyard, while to the right, a large sliding glass door reveals a bright, airy living area. Inside, the living room is defined by dark, polished stone flooring and a warm, timber-slatted ceiling. A comfortable gray-green sectional sofa is oriented to look past the floor-to-ceiling glass windows toward the panoramic mountain views in the distance, establishing a dialogue between the cozy interior and the vast landscape outside. Settling into the heart of the living room, the full impact of the home's spectacular setting is realized. Two circular wooden coffee tables with thick, rounded bases anchor the seating area, sitting on the dark gray stone flooring. The furniture is low-slung, ensuring the horizon remains the focal point. Just beyond the glass, a spacious wooden deck acts as a natural extension of the room. A leather armchair and a wooden chair with a cane backrest sit quietly on the deck, offering the perfect spot to gaze out at the winding lake and the flat-topped mountain range that dominates the misty valley. Moving deeper into the home, the ceiling height dramatically increases, revealing a double-height volume designed for relaxation. Wide timber steps lead up to a raised wooden platform where two white upholstered armchairs with elegant timber frames sit bathed in sunlight. Behind them, a floating wooden staircase rises along a spectacular brick wall, its vertical bricks casting soft shadows across the warm, clay-toned surface. To the left, a minimalist black metal and timber shelving unit is integrated into the space, holding books and decorative objects that personalize this grand room. The vertical brick wall is a work of art in itself, with select bricks projecting outwards to create a three-dimensional pattern that catches the sunlight. As a figure ascends the floating wooden stairs, the scale of this double-height volume feels both monumental and intimate. The warm grain of the wooden floor planks and the small circular coffee table next to the white lounge chair ground the room. Above, the raw concrete ceiling reminds us of the home's primary structure, balancing the warmth of the wood and brick with its cool, textured presence. In contrast to the open, light-filled brick living space, a secondary staircase offers a more solemn and introspective journey to the upper level. Enclosed between tall, narrow walls, the concrete steps rise beneath a raw concrete ceiling that features two dramatic circular skylights. These skylights cast clean, circular beams of light onto the stairs, highlighting the contrasting textures of the horizontal gray slate tiles on one side and the rough gray plaster on the other. At the top of the landing, a silhouetted figure stands in the bright light of a window, marking the transition to the home's private quarters. Entering the master bedroom, the atmosphere is instantly soothing, wrapped in soft textures and neutral tones. A simple timber-framed bed with crisp white linens sits in a pool of sunlight. Behind the headboard, a feature wall combines fine horizontal beige stone cladding with a lower section of warm vertical wooden slats. To the right, the room opens completely to the valley through massive sliding glass doors. The deck outside is laid with warm timber boards and bordered by a clear glass railing, while the exterior wall of the building showcases large, smooth-honed rectangular limestone blocks that glow in the daylight. Stepping onto the bedroom's private deck during the golden hour, the architectural frame directs the gaze outward. A figure stands by the glass railing, holding a mug and looking at the mist-covered mountains and valley below. A soft curtain billows in the gentle mountain breeze. Above the deck, the cantilevered concrete roof features a large circular cutout that lets the sun's warm rays shine through. The deck acts as a serene vantage point, allowing the home's occupants to feel suspended between the solid structure of the house and the vast, open valley. The bathroom continues the theme of tactile, natural materials with a bold design statement. A feature wall is clad in rich, dark green Indian marble tiles laid in a precise herringbone pattern, their white veins adding movement to the space. An elegant oval mirror hangs above a smooth, white concrete counter with an integrated sink and custom brass fixtures. Beneath the vanity, warm timber cabinets with delicate wooden slats and circular brass handles offer storage. A tall, vertical window next to the vanity looks out onto a private light well filled with lush tropical ferns, bringing natural light and nature into the most intimate corner of the home. In another powder room, the material palette shifts to warm, earth-toned terracotta. Vertically stacked orange brick tiles cover the wall, creating a clean, structured grid behind a modern, black wall-hung toilet. A vanity counter of dark gray stone features a black vessel sink, sitting on a cabinet of thin, vertical timber slats. To the right, a floor-to-ceiling glass panel looks into a semicircular light well. The shaft is lined with the same terracotta tiles, its floor covered in dark river pebbles and planted with lush potted ferns that thrive in the sunlight filtering down from above. Stepping back outside, the timber deck leads to the home's most dramatic feature, a stunning infinity-edge swimming pool. 2 carved wooden armchairs with woven cane seats sit on the deck, casting soft shadows under the bright sky. The edge of the pool appears to dissolve completely, its glass-like water merging with the natural lake and valley below. In the distance, the flat-topped mountain plateau stands out against the soft, hazy sky, emphasizing the home's role as a serene observatory of nature. From the far side of the infinity pool, the water acts as a mirror, reflecting the sky and the layered volumes of the house. The concrete slab of the main living pavilion extends over the deck, where 2 wooden chairs sit next to a slender sculptural tree. In the background, a figure in white walks along the pool edge, showing the integration of the home's various wings. The textured gray stone wall, a curved beige stone screen with circular detailing, and the taller beige block rise behind the pool, creating a beautiful composition of stone, concrete, and water. A vertical perspective from the pool edge highlights the bold cantilevers of the concrete structure. The water ripples gently in the foreground, bordered by the warm wooden deck where 2 cane-backed chairs sit. Behind them, the open ground floor reveals the warm brick wall and flowing staircase of the living area. Above, the second-floor balcony projects outward with its glass railing, sheltered by the overhanging roof. The circular cutout in the roof slab frames a portion of the sky, casting a soft, rounded patch of daylight onto the deck below. Focusing closer on the poolside deck, we see a beautiful demonstration of the home's connection to nature. A slender, sculptural tree grows directly from a small garden bed, its branches reaching up through a custom cutout in the concrete overhang. On the deck, the 2 curved wooden armchairs sit next to the tree, looking out over the water. In the background, the curved beige stone screen wall with its small square projections creates a textured backdrop, filtering views and casting shadows that change as the sun moves. At the water's edge, the pool's submerged steps invite a slow descent into the water. The smooth stone coping of the pool meets the warm timber deck, where a lone wooden armchair is positioned to take in the scene. Behind the deck, the architectural layers are highly textured. A dark gray slate wall on the left contrasts with the curved light beige stone screen that is detailed with fine vertical grooves and small square protrusions. To the right, a columned walkway frames the garden and the sculptural tree, showing how different spaces wrap around the water. Focusing on the facade's details, the textured beige stone tiles are laid in a horizontal running bond. This rough, sandy surface is punctuated by 2 deep window openings that feature projecting black steel box frames, creating sharp shadows. These metal shrouds do more than frame the glass. They act as architectural visors, protecting the openings from the elements while adding a graphic, geometric element to the stone wall. The play of light on the textured stone highlights its natural variation, emphasizing the home's connection to raw Indian materials. In another detail, the curved courtyard wall of narrow gray slate tiles showcases how the structure curves to hug the landscape. A large glass window breaks the stone surface, allowing a view of someone looking out from the interiors, which are surrounded by tropical foliage. From the curved concrete ceiling overhang, a dark metal rain chain hangs vertically, catching rainwater and guiding it down to the garden beds below. A curved shadow from the roof slab is cast onto the gray stone wall, creating a dynamic, changing line of light and shadow throughout the day. Standing back by the pool, the architectural elements come together in a wider landscape composition. The water in the foreground is bordered by a green lawn where a large rustic orange boulder sits, grounding the garden. To the left, the curved, textured beige stone wall stands as a freestanding screen, dividing different zones of the property. In the background, the main beige stone wing rises tall, contrasted by the open concrete structures and columns on the right. A sculptural tree grows near a concrete support column, showing how the house wraps around nature, while the green slope of the hill rises gently in the background. A final close-up of the interior staircase highlights the exquisite layering of textures. The concrete steps are clad in dark slate, rising alongside a wall of narrow gray slate tiles. The base of the stairs is built with dark stone blocks, alternating between rough chiseled faces and smooth honed finishes. A warm, cylindrical wooden handrail runs parallel to the stairs, offering a smooth, tactile experience. In the foreground, the edge of the curved beige stone wall with its small square projections is partially visible, framing the scene and emphasizing the home's complex, layered geometry. To understand how these spaces connect, the architectural drawings provide a clear blueprint of the layout. The ground floor plan shows a logical flow, starting at the drop-off and entrance foyer on the right, which leads directly into the main living and dining pavilion. The central courtyard curves through the heart of the plan, separating the main pavilion from the private bedroom wings. Each bedroom is designed with its own ensuite bath and private deck, ensuring that every occupant has a personal space to connect with the landscape. The next level of the plan reveals the lower floor, which is built into the slope of the hill. Here, we see the recreation and service areas, including a secondary lounge that opens directly to the pool deck, swimming pool, and jacuzzi. Tucked away on the right side of the plan, which is built underground, are the utility spaces, storage rooms, and staff quarters. This clever use of the sloping terrain keeps the functional parts of the house hidden, maintaining the clean lines and peaceful atmosphere of the main living spaces. Descending further down the plan, the basement layout shows the lowest tier of the home. This level is dedicated to play and maintenance, housing a spacious games room and the main pump room for the pool. By placing these active and utility-heavy zones at the bottom of the slope, the design preserves the quiet, meditative character of the upper floors. The drawings reveal a highly organized structure where every space has been carefully planned to follow the site's natural contours. The sectional drawing illustrates the true genius of the home's integration with the landscape. By stepping the volumes down the hill, the architects followed the natural terrain, minimizing the building's height and footprint. The section shows how each level connects directly to the outdoors. The upper floor bedroom opens to its deck, while the lower living pavilion flows out onto the pool deck and infinity pool. Down the slope, the games room sits beneath a green roof, blending the structure completely with the grass. A second section cut reveals the structural depth of the home. The lowest level houses the games room, where a game of table tennis is in progress, tucked under a green roof. This earth-sheltered design provides excellent insulation, keeping the recreational space naturally cool. Above, the section cuts through bedrooms, bathrooms, and utility corridors, showing how light wells and courtyards bring air and light deep into the structure. This drawing highlights the home's vertical relationships, showcasing a design that is both highly organized and deeply connected to the earth. As day turns to night, the home undergoes a dramatic transformation. At twilight, the massive stone and concrete volumes are illuminated from within, glowing like a warm lantern against the deep indigo sky. The lighting highlights the different textures of the stone walls and the underside of the concrete cantilevers. Uplighting along the grassy slope accentuates the natural landscaping and stone pathways, drawing the eye up to the glowing facade. The home stands as a peaceful beacon on the hill, showing a warm, inviting interior that contrasts beautifully with the cool shades of the evening. In the quiet of the night, the front facade showcases the full dramatic effect of the architectural lighting. The warm golden light spills from the open living areas, illuminating the wood-paneled ceilings and highlighting the artwork on the interior walls. Step lights along the lawn create a gentle path up the slope, guiding the way to the entrance. Under the dark sky, the overhanging concrete pavilion and its circular cutout frame the darkness, leaving a lasting impression of the home as a warm, protective sanctuary nestled in the hills of Aamby Valley. Ultimately, the Nirvana House is more than just a residence. It is a physical manifestation of peace and harmony. Through the collaborative efforts of Gauri Satam, Tejesh Patil, Miwa Nigoro, and photographer Praneet Bora, and with high-end fixtures from Kohler and Daikin, unTAG has crafted a home that is both highly functional and deeply spiritual. By grounding the architecture in raw materials and integrating it into the natural topography of Aamby Valley City, they have created a sanctuary where the occupants can truly find inner peace and live in harmony with the earth.